Hi, today I'm going to be trying out some oxides and some washes, which I've never done before. So I've got copper carbonate, cobalt oxide, rutile, and iron oxide red. I've used these in making glazes before, but I've never used them on their own. I have seen people on YouTube using them and brushing with them like paints, and I'm really excited to give it a try. So I've got a few candles or candle vessels, a mug, and a tiny vase that I'm going to experiment with. So I've got these little ramekins I'm going to use to mix and to paint from. I have these little dropper bottles. I don't think that'll work very well, but I'll give it a go. And some detail fine art brushes. Yeah, I thought they were really fine when I bought them, but they don't look that fine now. We'll see. I've had a fan heater running because it's really cold. I turned that off. I don't want this powder to be blowing anywhere near me. If I was handling any amount larger than a half a spoonful, I'd have my mask on. But if I don't disturb it too much, it should be okay, I hope. So we'll try the cobalt oxide first. I was going to do half a spoonful, but that seems like loads. Yeah, that seems like loads. I have a tiny measuring spoon somewhere. I have one of these. It is a quarter teaspoon. That seems better. Come on. Yeah, going by volume, 2 parts water, 1 part powder. Seems like a lot of powder. Or a tiny amount of liquid. That is far too much and it is far too thick. So these are just experiments. I really want to use the cobalt oxide and maybe the iron oxide red on a different project, but I want to see how I want to test it out first on something else really before I commit. So I'm not too fussed about how these go. I want to see, once I have this done, I'll then put it in transparent glaze to cover the whole thing in glaze. I just see how it draws. Ooh. It comes out really evenly. Let's test it in the dropper. I have no idea where I got this dropper kit, but it came with these, what are they called? I don't know. We all remember those from school, I'm sure. So I can pipe some in, hopefully easily enough. Pipette? Dropper? Pipe dropper? Nothing to do with pipes? So yeah, I'm less confident about this. I really put very little in, but we'll see. Oh. It's okay if you don't let it drip out, which it dripped out. I think I prefer the paintbrush. bisqueware is soaking up the water from the mixture so quickly that the copper carbonate is just powdering and falling right off again while I'm brushing it on. So next is rutile. Start with 3 scoops of water. Paint's a lot easier than the copper carbonate and the rutile. Actually feels like an ink or a paint rather than dusty water. This is pretty easy to paint with. Now that the powders are put away, I can turn the fan heater back on because I am freezing. I'm sorry if it's loud. Yeah, that was great. The copper carbonate and the rutile were really difficult to paint with. Cobalt oxide and iron oxide red were really easy to paint with. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to have some fun painting on this little vase after doing 4 tests. I was going to use the cobalt oxide, but I think I enjoyed the iron oxide red a little bit more. So I don't know at what stage I decided to stop where I stopped, but I did. Next step is clear glaze over all of them. Okay, that's all 4 pieces clear glazed. I need to let them dry and I will glaze fire them probably tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I have my results. Mixed results. So the cobalt oxide first. It looks fantastic, I think. Really, really clear, really solid colours. There were a couple of bits where it's I can kind of feel where the transparent glaze did not fully cover the oxide, but I'd say that's more glaze application. Unfortunately, I got a massive crack. Unfortunately, the pot cracked quite badly, so it's unusable. It was a really strange firing. Lots of my glaze pieces developed huge cracks in really strange places. I think it's because it was so cold outside, maybe too much cold air got in as it was cooling. But it was a test anyway, so I'm not heartbroken. But I really love how the oxide looks. The inside, like, I was able to get a nice gradient and it was easy to write with. That one turned out really well. Copper carbonate. Looked kind of cool, a bit ghostly. Not as solid, a bit flowy on this application. It looks nice though. The rutile showed up really well. a lovely like burnt orange colour, but I'm not sure that I would consider this food safe because the blob of rutile on the inside of the cup, it's a bit more textured than I would like. I don't know if the rutile is fully covered by the glaze. It looks cool. I like how it looks. I'd maybe just use it on the outside. Cobalt oxide red was a surprise. I naively thought it would be red, which if anything I should know by now that glazes do not turn out how they look pre-firing. Also I thought, I'll see if I know how to put a picture up of it pre-glazed. I thought I did solid block colours, but they're quite faded here. And kind of a tan colour, a light, maybe a bit of a dark green. Yeah, it's really strange. It's cool. I like it. It's not what I thought. It's not what I wanted. And it also turned out quite cool in the little vase, I thought. So it was a fun experiment. I was testing these for using, for painting onto a separate project. I was going to go with cobalt oxide in the first place. I'm still going to go with cobalt oxide. I considered maybe going iron oxide red, but the faded effect is just not what I'm going for. So really glad I did the test. Hopefully the results are because of what I used, not because of what I did. Yeah.